Hi, this is John Zombro with the Lifetime Athlete and coach of the Training Tribe. This is member programming for T2 for the week of March 15th, 2021. We're now in our third week of the second month of our 3-month strength emphasizing training block, and there are some program upgrades for this coming week. If you're not already a member of the Training Tribe and you're very interested in online training and group coaching in a fun and friendly format, then by all means check out Training Tribe at thelifetimeathlete.com. So what we're doing this week is really exciting because this is our third week, our intensification week, where we do our key performance indicator or KPI tests. In the strength block, we're going to keep this very personalized, and what you're trying to do this week is hit some max efforts and just see what you can do in a safe and effective manner. So where we're making the change is really only one area, which is in the primary or main component of our first 4 workouts. So with those main lifts, there's now only going to be one that you do in each of the workouts, and I'll explain that as we go through. So first of all, with workout A1, we're going to emphasize and utilize only the deadlift exercise. And we're going to progress through a challenge where you essentially see how much you can do within the parameters that I will explain later. And here's the tip for performing the deadlift. As you pull up, experiment with using an open mouth. And that open mouth basically opens or extends the temporomandibular joint, which helps your central nervous system to emphasize or bias extension through the body. Kind of a top-down or trickle-down methodology. Some lifters like to use this, and particularly because in the deadlift, the main thing we're trying to do is extend the hips. You may find this to be effective. So experiment with open mouth during the deadlift. Now, when we go to workout A2, we're only going to utilize the box squat. And so we've got that set up so you're squatting to a box. You can load it any way you want, front, back, rack, etc. With the box squat, what I want to encourage you to do is use maximal intent as you push up out of the hole or the bottom, coming off the box. So you want to use max force, but because that load is heavy, you also want to emphasize or try to recruit max speed. You're not going to go flying up in the air and jumping because we're using a heavy load in the test set. However, if you're thinking not just strong but fast, you'll notice that your performance will go up slightly, or probably it will. So try to experiment with that. Push up with force and speed in your box squat. Now moving on to the B workouts, which are the upper body sessions. B1, we're only going to utilize the incline dumbbell row, and the tip or the technique trick for that is to use a crush grip. So when you are squeezing your probably dumbbells, maybe barbell, depending upon how you've got this set up, you want to use as much force as you can for very similar reasons that we had the open mouth in the deadlift. By squeezing or flexing, you increase the drive, the CNS motor drive to flex the elbows and the back retractor. So that's why you're going to use a crush grip in your incline dumbbell row. Now finally, when we get to B2, the second exercise, or excuse me, the second workout in the upper body, we're going to use the bench press, solely the flat bench press. And what you're trying to do here is make sure that you hold air pressure or pressurized cylinder in your thorax, your chest, your abdomen. Hold your breath in the bottom half of the lift. So you can certainly inhale some on the way down if you prefer to do that. But once you're into this range, mid-range sticking point, just hold tight. Go through your rep and then don't exhale until you approach finish. That's going to give you a little bit more tensegrity, if you like that term, the ability to have integrity and tension at the same time in the body and be even more effective in your bench press. So the final thing to say about how we're modifying these workouts is with our set and rep schemes. As you know, we've experimented over the past several weeks using RPE, which is rate of perceived exertion, both in a set and to describe an entire workout. We've used RIR, repetitions in reserve. How many reps do you have left in the tank when you finish a a set. And we've also used the double progression method where, let's say if you're trying to do 3 sets of 15 and you keep working at a given weight until you get all 3 sets at 15, then you add weight and begin again working up to the 15. So all of those are valid ways to progress exercise, but we're using today, or this week should I say, the RIR method exclusively. So how that's going to work in those main or primary lifts, the 4 that I just went over, you're going to start off with 5 progressive sets of 6 repetitions. The RIR is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So 5 sets of 6 reps with an RIR of 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So you can see as you're adding weight, you're working up to having less and less reps left in the tank till you go to 0 or failure, momentary muscular failure, on that 5th set. It's fairly simple, but one thing I should say is 5 by 6 is the suggestion. So if you've got another rep in that final set and you're going to get 7 reps, go ahead and do it. By all means, don't stop at 6 just because that serving suggestion is there. Use the RIR to trump it. Now, that's not the only thing we do in those main lifts, though. We have a bonus set, which is a 6th and final set. It's 1 by 20. So now you're going to take a lighter weight, probably something that you used on the way up, progressing up, maybe in your 2nd set, possibly 3rd, but you're going to use that weight to shoot for 20 reps and taking it to RIR 0. So it doesn't matter if you get 17 or 26, you're just going for that big pump. So that's basically what we're doing this week in testing out our strength moves. And I should also tell you, we've been loading fairly heavily on the back, on the shoulders. We're going to transition away from that over the next couple months and, give your joints a break, but we're still going to work on strength as we move into power and speed. So just keep that in mind by all means. And thanks for doing all these things, because you're really going to see the benefits of the strength that you've developed now paying off as you move into both the other training blocks that we have in all of your sports training and competing applications that you probably have lined up for later this spring, summer, and into the fall. So guys, that's basically it for the upgrades. I just wanted to give you some extra tips and explain clearly what we're doing, just in case what you have in your member training or member programming document in text and table form needed a bit of a face to these names. So that's all for this week. Thank you again for being with me. You are magnificent, and rock on.